Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dilip Singh from DataHub Nepal. I am all the way from Nepal. We own a data center company that's in Kathmandu and other different places as well. So I am here today to share a journey why we adopt CloudStack as a fundamental technology for providing infrastructure as a service, and we are quite happy with the product, and we use this as to provide the public service or public clouds. There may be combination of public and private, like hybrid clouds as well. So let's start about the journey, how we started the data center. And in the back of year 2012, we started the data center. That was the time where it was the requirement for different corporates and other companies to store data, and as a data center provider we used to provide co-location services and other data center facilities like power services initially. Later on we add up the services like cloud services. That was in later 2016, and we were seeking for the flexible clouds and alternatives to adopt, and it will fit for our requirements in Nepal as well. So we came across CloudStack, and we had evaluated many features, and I think that was the time we had chosen the right product and right thing that was community driven, and we became the part of the CloudStack. Talking about DataHub as a cloud service provider, before it was just a data center provider that was basically providing all the facilities required for the co-locations and other services. And the decision for coming up with the cloud was pretty challenging, because it's always challenging to move or adopt any product that is based on cloud. We had no experience about clouds, and going with the CloudStack was another bit challenging, and what not easy with CloudStack. So let's start a journey. As I discussed, we adopted cloud as a cloud service provider in 2016. From there, we provided the public cloud services. At that time, we had no so much of experience on the hardwares, technologies, and other services, how it is going to work, and how people will react on this platform. And there was always challenge that there were users that were using the hyperscalers clouds, that public clouds globally providing. So the user expectations were quite a bit higher. So at the time of launch of this cloud services, Apache CloudStack was quite not so feature enriched, but yeah, as already earlier team member has already told, it was quite centric to the public cloud providing the services, and the use cases are different other than the global cloud service provider. So and going into the cloud journey, we had started with infrastructure as a service that was fundamentally on CloudStack version with 4.7. It was quite earlier version, and later on platform as a service. We provide a platform as a service for like GitHub, DevOps teams, development teams, and other. And moving forward, we had adopted for software as a service in the cloud, and we are happy with these products over the cloud. And and before 2016, talking about the cloud in Nepal before 2016, we used to have few data center providers or cloud service provider. They were basically providing the VPS as a virtual private service as like cloud, and accessing the VMs like from RDP, SSS, and doing their jobs. So after the launch of this CloudStack, we had a different experience of having like self-service portal. We have control over our services. We can see what's going on. There there was quite visibility over what are our assets and what are the things going on, or what we are configuring over the over the portal. So beginning as an initiator, it was very challenging. Like customer do have the mindset of putting or keeping their data in their on-premise data centers, and there was a challenge to convince them to put their data to a cloud or a public cloud, maybe a private cloud, or different from their basic location or primary location, that is their office. So their office was a data center, or they were managing their data center or servers at their premises, and maintaining everything that was a data center task, like maintaining everything like internet and uptime, everything they were maintaining in their own. So the concept was to put the data in cloud or in a private cloud over the data center, and you can access from anywhere. So this mindset was quite challenging, and they were not able to adopt at that time. After several time of convincing, they were agreed, and they knew about the data center that should be centrally accessible, and it should be secured, and it will be secure in the cloud as well, using the CloudStack. And we had given some demos, and we had set up some instances for them. They were using that, and they were quite happy with the functionalities and the services, like firewall services that totally isolates your environment with other users, that kind of thing they experienced, and they were quite convinced over that one. And another thing was like security and privacy concern. Like they firstly thought, if the data is outside my office, then it's not secure. That was the challenge, second concern about that. So talking about that was also the security and privacy concern was addressed with the private gateways and the private networks that was implemented in CloudStack from very earlier, and we can use L2 networks to extend their offices to the cloud, and they were quite convinced about the security concerns as well. And to start the cloud journey, we had no experience on hardware and storage. How it works, and what are the combination of the hardwares, how can we use the storage and the computes, how can we virtualize, even hypervisors were quite new to us at that time, at that point of time. So we had some export services hired from India, and we had done configurations and management kind of things with the help of experts from India. Yeah. And the next one, lack of technical resources for cloud. Obviously, if cloud is new to Nepal at that time, earlier than just a VPS was a cloud, and just a management by RDP and SSS was the thing they were able to do. In such case, cloud management and operational activity were quite challenging, and user or the experts were not available locally, and that could be that was a challenge, and we have to depend on the experts as we had hired or we had expert services from India. And nevertheless, we had a lot of effort to educate the customer at the beginning of launching this cloud, and after the launch, why cloud? So why are we adopting cloud to host our data or some kind of services over some kind of services? So there are a lot of efforts that we put together, like from IT, sales, and other department as well, to educate the customer how the things work, what are the network private gateways, what is VPCs, what are the instances, how we are adopting the role based access, and how we are using the controls over the user that we are providing. These are all kinds of efforts that were obviously used obviously we put effort to educate our customers. And the journey with the CloudStack was started from 2016 with the basic zone, and the version was 4.7 initially, and we had just 3 host cluster with 2 management hosts and 1 storage, and we had just started providing a few instances VMs to the customer, and they were using them as a trial. They were testing their features, having UAT environments, deployments, and other things in the beginning. And after 6 months, when it was gone for the production, there was the requirement of the private gateways, like they have to set up the VPNs. And they are concerned about the data to be private and accessible by their office or their networks only. So there comes the requirement for advanced zone, that is VPC zone, where we can create multiple tirings, and we have different firewall rules applied to this one. So after 6 months of the first launch, we had set up the clusters for VPC, and we have provided those services. And at that time, with these features or with these services, we were able to onboard one of the largest insurance company over the cloud, and it was called the beginning of hybrid cloud at that time. We were and currently we have 50 plus hosts configured with multiple storage, with multiple zones, and running the instances in a stable way. So the key challenges that we faced, obviously, that I had already explained. There were lack of local expertise for every sort or every small things. We have to depend over the expertise, and yet another thing that we faced was the early stage the VR and the VPC that was quite having unpredictable behavior, and we faced that one because maybe we were new to this one, and we do not have a proper use cases about the VRs or standard practices that we were implementing. But yeah, we were facing quite a lot of challenges in VR, and if there was a problem, it would have taken a few hours to troubleshoot that kind of issues, yeah, in the initial stage. And talking about the CloudStack community, it's not up to the mark for Nepal context, because if that would be the case in the early 2016s, it would have been easier for us to get support and have the facilities of export advices and other things as well. So I think for the open source community, I think CloudStack is globally accepted, and we are very much impressed with the team and the community as well, and its agility is very much proven, and its direction is quite in a good way, and we are adapting from the very beginning. Yeah. So what we experienced as a cloud in Nepal, what we experienced, yeah, the first cloud experience that we have provided to the user in Nepal was from CloudStack. And obviously if anyone is going to use a cloud, then he or she will expect some of the features that would be available in the portal or in the platform. So the self-service portal was quite very much impressed feature, because user was always there to see their instances configure at the right time without any support or any kind of tickets to raise to the data center or any cloud service provider. They have the control over their data, and they can have the console access, and they can perform the activities over the instance, and have the complex networks configured over there as well. So and the VPC's concept helped to address the privacy and security concern, as I discussed earlier. And other thing, the better experience and performance would be more about the latency things. In case if you have the local cloud and you are accessing from the locally, you will get a minimum latency to access your data, and you can have the seamless operation on the cloud as well. And better in early days, the better experience was to get the better processors and better processor, better memory, better compute capability at that time, and we were happy, or we were able to provide those facilities at that time. So it was a better experience, and the customer experienced a good performance in the cloud. Again, cloud experience, it has easy UI. When we provided user access to any customer, he or she can directly log in and have the overview of the dashboard. It is quite easy, and all the sections are very neat, and they can deploy their instances in a very easy and quite in few minutes. So there is no any kind of support needed for deploying that instances in a very few minutes. Yeah. And with the powerful API, some of our customers has deployed their own templates, and they are creating their instances several times, and despite of their UAT environment, they are using that feature in the production environment as well. And having the use of this powerful API, like they automates some of the their regular tasks, regular work. So they automates regular works and save time as well. And this open source approach has very impressive remark in context of Nepal, where most of the open source projects are being accepted. And I think this is also one of the potential, one of the product having greater potential in the market with community support and better experiences as well. other things like role based access. As earlier, if we are providing any public cloud to the customer, they are creating the role based access to their particular users as and limiting the controls over their instances and things. Like role based access was quite very frequently used in case of public cloud, where there are number of users and we have to limit the roles as per their use cases. Yeah. Other thing is scalable. Yeah, scalability is a very good example here, because we started with 3 host cluster and currently we are having 50 plus hosts in the different zones, and scalability is quite easy, and we had achieved over the time period of around 1 decade, and it's quite quite useful over the time. And compatibility with almost all hypervisors. Yeah, and we are using a different variant of hypervisors for different use cases, like we have used VMwares, and when the customers were experiencing the backup challenges, we had started with Citrix Zen servers, and later on we adapted XCP-NGs and other hypervisors as well. So there are almost all common hypervisors are supported over here. So these are quite good experiences with CloudStack. What was the game changer for us? Like earlier, the BPC router, it was a game changer for us. We had onboarded, we had extended the corporate LANs over cloud on-prem. The concept of LAN over extend your LAN over the public cloud privately. So, and using this one, we had onboarded largest insurance company, as I had told you earlier. Yeah. And the snapshot feature, the customer were not able to do the backup, but they were happy to take snapshots for their configurations if there is any kind of mistakes, or they can revert back to the time where they can keep the snapshot over a long period of time. So snapshots were quite helpful in managing their clouds and their data into the time. Yeah. As per the need in Nepal at that time, the requirement was for the flexible and affordable cloud, where there was the presence of global cloud users in Nepal. In that case, if we are providing an affordable and a flexible kind of cloud to them, they will be happy to migrate their data from global providers like AWS or any other clouds. So when we are providing initially the cloud to our local cloud, at that time customer faced some of the challenges of the features that they were using in global clouds, but at the end they were able to now migrate data locally, and they are happy to host the data in local cloud. I think I had already explained about the automation with Terraform and other APIs or other API like API CLI tools like CMK. Customers are automating their task, and they are doing implementing their templates by their own and saving time. Why Nepal or cloud grew in Nepal? There are mainly these are the reasons why there was a growth in cloud in Nepal, because data would be locally available, and customer always thinks that if the data is locally, they are safe. So, the first case is data should be local, and the government is also mandating to put the data or to keep the data within the boundary of the country, and this help to raise this give rise to the Nepalese cloud in Nepal a bit more rapidly in a growing manner. Second one is local billing. Customer were facing the billing challenges to pay outside of country in dollar. So, in that case, if there is a local billing system or local billing approach, then customer are a bit happy to pay locally and have the corporate billings integrated for the local billing cycle. Obviously, the low latency would be quite very impressive for the local clouds. If there is high latency, there are a lot of applications that misbehave or will would not perform in a good manner, and local latency helps to achieve the performance of these applications very widely. And talking about the local 24/7 support, I think if we are using a global cloud service provider, we would have to wait as per their SLA, and in case of support, if you are getting in local language and with the phone support, then it would be quite easy to handle or to maintain the customers relations very in efficient manner. In addition to this, as I already told, that government has been mandating the cloud and the data localization. So, the data should be within the boundary, or that should be managed by especially the financial data, should be within the boundary and should be managed by the ON. And over the time, cloud has been continuously adopted, and in the journey, CloudStack has helped to get this momentum and trust up to the mark, and we are pretty happy to use this one as our fundamental technology to provide infrastructure service and give the services to the customer. Yeah. What our customer expects, their expectations are quite higher, they expect quite a bit more, and I think these are some of the expectations, and that would be I guess addressed in the coming Apache CloudStack releases. Most of them like object storage, that is pretty releasing with 4.19 and others coming. So, and the last one, the migration of VMware clouds to CloudStack. It is a bit challenge because currently many of the corporate companies are using VMware as their hypervisors, and they are not able to move their workloads seamlessly to the cloud environment. And I think coming version are addressing the migration of VMware to the CloudStack or cloud. That is quite impressive, and customer is looking forward with these features as well. Nevertheless, Nepal is also growing in terms of cloud, because everywhere the hyperscalers are not present, and there is always a chance that regional clouds are growing, and we are with the CloudStack and growing together. We and the CloudStacks are going together. Let's see how we can have the community support coming days, and how we can have the benefits from the CloudStacks as well. And all this is my presentation for today. Thank you. Is there any questions regarding?
So you mentioned that you're using private gateways to connect from customer to your
Yeah.
data server.
Yeah.
So is that backend, is it using like VPN, using VPN, or you have a dedicated connection between?
Using the VPN, yeah, and another is the case of as your question is about the private gateway. We were we were using the private gateway and also the L2 connectivity between the customer and our premises, and we were linking via the private gateway.
Is that a direct connection channel, or is that through
Via MPLS? It is via MPLS link. Yeah, it is via MPLS. Yeah.
So did you face any specific challenge using CloudStack? Did you try other platforms as well, like OpenStack or some other?
Yeah, your question is about why we have chosen the CloudStack earlier version. As in the very simple manner, we can easily adopt cloud in a CloudStack way. Like OpenStack, there are a lot of modules, and we have to get masters on that one in the integration and everything. So we had started with CloudStack with the little features at the earlier, but it has grown up and become mature over the time, and it has almost going to be integrated with various features in coming days. So we had adopted to CloudStack.
Is it secure? Are you feeling it is secure?
In terms of, as your question is about the security, in terms of the private or hybrid clouds, we are obviously not exposing the network to public. But if the customer is using the public cloud, then obviously there is a challenge of security. Yeah, but over the time, it has been quite mature in the security as well. The CloudStack is quite secure in the feature as well.
Dilip, if you don't mind, could I add to your answer?
Yeah, please.
So CloudStack has plethora of features. There are many users who have taken HIPAA and PCI and those kind of compliances. CloudStack a lot of features that allow you to encrypt and secure data in motion, in transit, and at store. So for example, all the public-facing endpoints, you can encrypt them through SSL certificates. All your disks at storage, for example, your disks, you can encrypt them. So even the cloud administrator cannot get access to it, even if there's the infrastructure is accessible to them. And when you live migrate your workloads, let's say your disk in a storage, you're kind of live migrating it, or you're live migrating your VMs. Those are also secured by CloudStack C, a certificate authority framework. So CloudStack uses a certificate authority framework. When it talks to other CloudStack instances or agents, all of that communication is secure. So in general, there was a talk in the last conference about the security aspect of CloudStack, how using CloudStack you can encrypt and secure data, outward facing northbound and southbound data, in transit, in motion, and at rest.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rohit, adding answers to my question. That question. Okay. Any other questions?
How can you get the support from CloudStack?
Directly we are not getting support from the CloudStack, but we have to take the supports via channels like another expert service providers, and we have the support. Yeah.
Community, right? From community.
From the community we get direct support, but if we are getting the professional supports, then we have to get over via any company or any support provider.
So, are you paying any license for this kind of support?
Not directly for the license, but for the professional supports.
For professional support, you are paying license.
Yeah.
So, how much license?
I think we have to discuss with that financially.
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you.